What's up, it's Christian. So I want to respond to Paul VanderKlay's video from this morning about authenticity. Sometimes, like in church, you have these, or in life, people have these kind of interesting inclinations or preferences about what is genuine. Like, say you're in a small Baptist church and Sister Sally starts singing and it's horribly off key, but everyone loves Sister Sally. And that's part of the ethos and the milieu of what makes this place home. And of course she's authentically singing, and who's to say that that's not authentic, quote unquote, worship. And then you can go to, let's just call it like next level church, and you hear like somebody sing and it sounds professional, but in the frame that high production equals inauthenticity is kind of not fair to the person who's spent maybe a large part of her life honing a craft and maybe has real natural talent, and that is an authentic expression of that person. So it can't just be wrapped up in production of what makes something authentic, even though I get it, the thing that makes it is. So the videos I've made over the past couple of days, I'm giving the authentic tour of the studio. There's my space heater because my air up here doesn't do heat, it's broken. I've got the old computer and such, and I've got my dirty couch and my drum set back there. Sometimes I have a keyboard in the studio. I've got a couple of guitars down there. But anyways, this is also where the old magic has been happening. There's my camera and microphone and my studio light. So, yeah, anyways, that's my thought on authenticity. I think authenticity is not something that is defined by presentation, like it is a matter of the heart. It is a true disposition, and sometimes it's hard to tell, and it's not always even for us to be able to tell. Or let's take somebody like Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom podcast versus Jordan Peterson's podcast pre-Daily Wire. Jordan many times initially would be in front of a computer. Probably it looked like a webcam, like on the computer or something, and his son was coming in sometimes, Julian, and helping him fix technical issues. And you have somebody like Chris Williamson, who even when he was in his own room, it was kind of polished, high definition, good audio, clear image, blurry background, blah, blah, blah. And maybe he's a little bit of a tech geek when it came to that kind of stuff, or he had a vision for it. I get the appeal of just like hopping on, but there's kind of just like two different things, because I would say that Chris Williamson was being authentic to his passions or his interests, and it's possible that he wouldn't have needed higher production to make his podcast any better. It had more to do with his skill, but that was something that he was interested in. And then Jordan Peterson didn't need any high-level production. Like all his classroom lectures were just, the old camcorder at the top of the room tracking with him, and a lot of the early uploads were very low quality. Yet their appeal was real, and I wouldn't say that either one of them are more or less authentic because of how they were produced. And now, is Jordan less authentic because there's a production crew? Those are the kinds of thoughts when it comes to that side of things, because I think even from the perspective of someone who used to do the whole worship leader thing, those were the questions I wrestled with inside of my mind quite a bit of what does it mean for, like, to look out into a congregation and wonder if somebody's really worshiping God? What's authentic worship? And it's, is it if somebody's not doing anything? Is that inauthentic? Because the presentation appears not engaged, but then you can have somebody engaged doing all sorts of things that could not be authentic. So I think it's very hard to nail down, but it does speak when it is recognized. And I think that is also your point. It was Paul's point that it does, when it comes across, you recognize it, but I wouldn't say it has as much to do with the presentation. But anyways, my thoughts.